Hi, I'm Fasted Fred. There's something very strange that, if you've ever failed at weight loss many times, you'll find terrifyingly true. You might do everything right all day, but if you make a mistake in the first few hours after waking up, your body will shut down fat burning, as if it were hoarding gold. What annoys me most is that almost no one tells you this. So you think you're weak-willed, have a faulty metabolism, or a slow metabolism? That's not it. You're just out of sync with your hormones. In the first few hours after waking up, there's a small switch related to insulin that you can't see or feel, but it determines whether your entire morning will be spent burning or hoarding. Today, I'm going to show you that switch. And frankly, it's so simple it sounds like cheating, but it only works if you avoid one mistake that almost everyone makes, especially those who eat very healthily. I'll tell you about my own experience, because I went through exactly the same thing. There was a period when I was extremely serious about my diet. I ate a healthy diet, low in sugar, exercised regularly, increased my vegetable intake, and drank plenty of water. I even tried intermittent fasting, thinking it would burn fat. In the beginning, I felt like I was winning. I'd wake up, drink some water, turn on my computer, and tell myself I'd do my best today. But then, by mid-morning, my body started betraying me. My mind felt hazy. I'd look at the screen and have to reread a passage. I wasn't starving, but there was an unsettling urge, as if my body was saying it needed something right away. And that's when I started using what many people call the SMART solution. A strong coffee with a little milk, a banana because I thought bananas were healthy, an oatmeal bar because I thought it was healthy, some cereal because I thought it would give me energy. I thought I was taking care of myself. But after a short while, that initial feeling of alertness turned into a slump. My energy dropped rapidly, cravings increase, and it rarely stops for long. It's like a continuous stream of snacks. You eat one, then crave more, then eat again. By lunchtime, you're tired, irritable, and blaming yourself for your lack of discipline. Later, when working with many people who wanted to lose fat, I discovered this was a common denominator. They weren't lazy at all. They were much more diligent than many others. But they had a seemingly harmless morning habit that constantly pushed their bodies into storage mode. And what disappointed them most was that the more they tried, the more they forced themselves to eat, the more they reduced their food intake, but it still didn't work. Because the root cause isn't about eating too little or too much. It's about eating at the right rhythm or at the wrong rhythm. You need to understand one thing. Your body doesn't start the day when you open your eyes. It starts before that. While you're sleeping, your hormones are already awake. In the morning, the body has a warm-up ritual, like starting a car engine. One of the earliest hormones to work is cortisol. Many people are afraid of the word cortisol because they think it's a stress hormone. But morning cortisol has a beautiful job, to wake you up. It tells the liver to give you some fuel. The liver will release a quantity of glucose into the bloodstream as free fuel. This phenomenon is called the dawn effect. It's nature's way of saying, wake up, there's energy now. But here's the point that few people know, and it's where you get stuck. During that time, your body is often temporarily less sensitive to insulin. Not disease, not severe insulin resistance. It's just that the body prioritizes the brain first. Imagine a line of people waiting for fuel. The brain is served first to keep you alert and alive, while muscles and fat tissue come later. So, if you consume carbohydrates at this time, the body will need more insulin to process the same amount of sugar. And when insulin rises, fat is harder to get out of storage. I want you to remember this image because it helps you understand even without knowing the terminology. Insulin is like a gatekeeper, standing in front of an energy storage. When insulin is high, the gatekeeper locks the door. When insulin is low, the door opens. You want to burn fat, you need the door open. Insulin isn't bad. It's necessary for survival, but it has a somewhat lock-up nature. So if you accidentally cause a surge in insulin at a time when your body is less sensitive, you're giving the gatekeeper an espresso and telling them to lock it tightly. The result is two very familiar things. One is that one bite turns into another. Two is that your energy levels fluctuate like a roller coaster. You don't need to be undisciplined to fall into that trap. Just be biologically correct. Now, let's touch on the most sensitive point, coffee. I'm not asking you to quit coffee, but you need to understand what coffee is doing when you drink it too early. Coffee can raise cortisol levels. Normally, that's fine, but if it doubles on the dawn effect, you have a morning that's twice as alert. It feels great until it doesn't feel good anymore. And at that point, if you add healthy carbohydrates, insulin can spike even higher. You think you're energizing, but your body signals to store it away. Then, after a while, you fall. And when things go wrong, you look for a quick rescue. Each time you do that quick rescue, insulin is reminded to stay on standby, and the warehouse door remains locked. Sleep is often the biggest misconception people have about their health. Just one night of poor sleep can make your body less sensitive to insulin, leading to increased carbohydrate cravings in the morning. That's why some days you wake up feeling like you're being controlled, wanting to eat as soon as you open your eyes. It's not because you're gluttonous. It's because your body is stressed and wants sugar to get you through the morning. If it's harder to resist eating after a sleepless night, it's not your fault. It's your endocrine system working overtime. And here's the best part. Your body recovers very quickly. You don't need to wait a whole month. Many people see a difference after just a few days of getting back on track. After the early morning, the hormone surge subsides, and insulin sensitivity increases again. This is the window when your body is truly ready to process your first meal without triggering an overly strong insulin response. Simply put, you just need to avoid flipping the wrong switch right after waking up. Now, I'll give you a system that's incredibly easy to remember and apply starting tomorrow. You don't need to change your diet, you just need to change the rhythm. Give your body some time after waking up before you eat your first meal. During that time, you don't need to sit there suffering. Just do a simple warm-up. Drink a large glass of water. If you tend to get dizzy or have headaches when fasting, add electrolytes. Walk around lightly for a few minutes or stretch. Take a shower. Do some light work. Open a window and breathe. If you like coffee, you can have black coffee. But during this time, avoid the biggest rhythm disruptors, which are carbohydrates like bananas, oatmeal, cereal, healthy snacks, or sugary milk coffee. Those are the things that often cause insulin to go into the wrong rhythm. Then, when you eat your first meal, eat in the order that makes your body feel comfortable. Start with protein, fat, and fiber. I'm being specific so you don't have to guess. If you eat at home, eggs with vegetables are a great choice. Greek yogurt with a few nuts is also fine. Fish or lean meat with salad is excellent. Avocado with vegetables is also fine. If you're busy, you can use a portion of available protein and a portion of vegetables. The goal isn't to eat less to lose weight. The goal is to eat in a way that prevents you from being drawn into the junk food craze. Once your first meal is stable, you'll naturally crave less, your energy will be smoother, and fasting will become easier. Carbohydrates aren't forbidden, but carbohydrates have their good times. For most people, carbohydrates behave better after lunch, when muscles are more ready to receive glucose. If you want to eat fruit, oatmeal, or rice, try delaying it until lunchtime or after exercise. You'll be surprised how differently your body reacts to the same food when eaten at the right time. And the final thing that will make a clear difference is to stop eating a while before bed. This is where many people miss out. And then the next morning, they start with their hormones in disarray. If you eat close to bedtime, insulin is still high, your body has difficulty switching to recovery mode, sleep is less restful, and the next morning, you'll crave carbohydrates intensely. Stopping eating early isn't about suffering. It's about giving your restorative hormones some work. You'll find your sleep is more restful, and the next morning, waiting for your first meal will be much easier. During the first week, your body may react, and you need to be aware of this beforehand, so you don't panic. If you feel hungrier in the morning, don't panic. It's usually your body relearning its fuel reserve rhythm. Drink water, electrolytes, do some light exercise, give it some time. If you feel sleepy after your first meal, it's usually a sign you had carbohydrates too early or your first meal lacked protein. Increase protein and vegetables, reduce carbohydrates at your first meal, move carbohydrates to lunch, usually after a few days. If you have trouble sleeping at night, check if your last meal and last meal are too heavy. Stop eating a little earlier, make your last meal lighter, and you'll find it easier to sleep. The most interesting thing is that when you get the rhythm right, fat loss doesn't feel like a battle anymore. You don't need to strain your willpower all morning. You're no longer dragged down by invisible cravings. You feel more confident, your mind is clearer, and that feeling of trying but failing starts to disappear. Because you did it right. You just needed to time it correctly. Now, I want to hear your story so I can make the next video addressing the specific problem you're facing. Please comment on what your morning routine is like. Do you eat right after waking up? Do you not eat but feel tired and crave sweets? Do you drink coffee early and then experience low energy? Do you sleep poorly and crave carbohydrates in the morning? I will read your comments and make a very specific follow-up for each type, detailing what you should do in the first few days to make it as smooth as possible. If you want me to write a follow-up, please comment that you want one.